Alrighty, here we go. So everybody's been talking about John Cena, saying he's a cuck, this and that type of thing. Oh my gosh, he's saying he's sorry, and then of course, people are mad at Mark Ruffalo for saying, well, he supports BDS, but then he says, well, what's going on in Israel and Palestine isn't really a genocide, this and that. The thing is that this is nothing new. None of this is new. And it is worldwide. It is worldwide. People think that somehow it's just Hollywood. And they don't want to be accused of being racist, so they don't say anything about China. They don't say anything specifically about Hong Kong, and the way, actors and actresses were treated at that time. Russia, etc., right? None of these countries are exempt. The entertainment systems that exist, to get a movie made, to get a TV show made, to get, a comedian up there, this and that, it's all... Now, they're all, I'll put it this way. Before I say it's all the same, no. I was going to say is that they have their national interests to a point, but there are back channels. And there's this idea, maybe I'm going super truther here, but I'm going to do it anyway. It's the idea of keeping us, fighting each other, right? I don't think that's any different than what it was. Maybe I've moved on somewhat from my more like right-wing sort of beliefs. I don't know, but I feel like that's where we are. And I feel like, people get mad at John Cena or whatever. That's, like I say, I think that Eleanor Roosevelt, as bad as she was, made a good point with this, where it's like small people talk about, I'm doing this in reverse, basically, of what she actually said, but small people talk about people, more intelligent people talk about ideas. And I try to talk about ideas more than individuals. I try to see it as a whole thing. The individuals themselves, maybe I'll be like the late Michael Brooks and say, don't shame the individual, shame the system. That's why people say, well, we need to get rid of whiteness, not white people. Like I say, I take that with a grain of salt, but, it is what it is, right? So, I'm watching these videos. What gave me the idea for this was watching some many videos about Paul Mooney. And for those that know, Paul Mooney was a comedian. He said stuff about, Obama was, Obama himself was a clone. Didn't say anything about about his wife being a man. Didn't say anything about that. I guess that's more white folk stuff. But saying that Jesus was black and that the Romans killed Jesus and it wasn't, Jews, this and that. I could sit there and believe that. The thing is, it's not going to make a huge difference in my opinion, But, he talked, of course, about JFK was an inside job. It's like, okay, I mean, you kind of sound like Alex Jones. The thing is that, as Richard Pryor would probably say about Paul Mooney, is that he was queer. He was as queer as a $2 bill. And of course, Richard Pryor was referencing not Billy Wilder, but the what's his name? I'm trying to think of it now. Hold on. That's it. Let's see here. Gene Wilder. There we go. Gene Wilder. And Gene Wilder probably was gay. I mean, who knows, right? But the thing is that most people in Hollywood are gay. The difference, I think, in China is that, you toe the line in terms of the system, this and that, and that, you support it no matter what. And maybe, a bit of hanky-panky goes on. Who knows, right? And that's not me being racist. I'm just saying that's probably how it works. I mean, same thing in South Korea. South Korea, the more famous video that, I can't think of what he calls himself now, but Cuck Philosophy did, that video that everybody lottie-dottie has seen about K-pop singers and the strenuous schedule that they have for you, this and that, and the amount of time. Basically, it's just, it's basically kind of like, the way that prostitution was done, where it's like, yeah, you sign up, but now you owe all this money because we put so much into you. It's just like a loan that they have to pay off. So like I say, you can criticize John Cena because he made a faux pas and said Taiwan exists. At this point, it's pointless rhetoric to be like, oh, well, Taiwan existed. No, you're falling in the trap. You're falling into the trap. The thing is that it just goes to show that China's a new power player. And that as long as Hollywood can continue to do all the evil, demonic stuff that they have done since the beginning, then they don't care about who runs it, It's kind of like what Lord Rothschild said, right? Where it's just like, yeah, worry about the money, or, worry about laws and politics all you want. As long as I control the money, who cares? And, eventually I think that China will be controlling the money. Who knows? I mean, all the based, neocon war hawks will try to fight it, I guess, somehow, by doing videos at 1 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, I mean, that's, like I say, just admit that you just want to have a little clubhouse where y'all all believe the same thing. That's fine. It's okay. I just do these videos to rant and rave for the most part. I don't expect to change anything. Most of this, I think, is preached to the choir, And if someone does have an actual criticism, I'll try to, talk about it, this and that. Generally speaking, though, they don't really waste their time. It's like, because I make mediocre content. But anyway, past me. The entertainment system worldwide has always been a cesspool. It's not any different. It's not going to change anytime soon. I mean, I'm sure you could talk about Bollywood even and see how bad that was. But people get manipulated by it because they see a movie when they're young and they're like, oh, it inspires me, this and that. And of course, even when they find out the truth about, a movie or how a movie was made and how, or what drugs that person was on, or, what the director did to somebody, this and that, they still have an affinity for a film or affinity for, a genre or whatever the case may be, right? So it's just, it is what it is. I think I'll think back to an episode of 30 Rock, because I am a white person. I got to prove it by saying 30 Rock. That's one of the whitest comedies that was ever on TV. And they had that's it. What was his name? The late Tim Conway on there, and Tim Conway was saying, yeah, when you have, when you're dealing with, all these crazy types of folks, in business, you're going to have some freaky stuff that goes on, and that's kind of I'm screwing up what he actually said, but that's kind of that's kind of what he was going for. Basically, there's always going to be freaky stuff. And it's not just the producers and whatnot who are, creeping on, these kids and all that. That occurs too. But there's plenty of stuff that, these singers, these rappers, these actors, they willingly choose to do that. They willingly choose to sign these things, and they know about the system. Same thing with Paul Mooney. He knew exactly what it was. He knew exactly what he was into. He could say white stuff. He could say whatever he wanted to about white folks and everything. And people will still say, oh, he's so brave for what he did and everything. He wasn't going to do anything. But that's just how people are, right? They see certain folks as heroes. I don't know. I just think that overall, the way the music industry or the way television industry, the way all these different industries work, it's bad. I'm trying to speak to a larger system. Be mad at John Cena all you want to because, he decided to apologize intensely, for saying that Taiwan exists as a country, promoting Fast and Furious. Okay. But he knows the game, and he knows that he made a mistake. And I'm sure people brought it up to him and like, hey, buddy, you got to make a, yeah. I don't know. I feel like this kind of comes back to the whole individualism versus collectivism argument, where it's just like, at the end of the day, you got to help yourself, and you got to be able to just say, you can't be one of those folks who's just like, oh yeah, that person's a Freemason, or oh yeah, that person's a Satanist, or whatever. It's like, yeah, you can do that on the internet to make money, but it's like ordinary people don't want to hear that. So you just say to yourself, I don't really watch movies anymore. There's a point where I just stopped or whatever, and that's all you have to say. I don't know. I just feel like that there's a lot of folks who waste a lot of time who are just like, well, we have to get all this information. Okay, yeah. What are you going to do about it? It always comes back to that for me. What are you going to do about it? Nothing. They're just going to spread this info around and all this. These folks can talk endlessly about Paul Mooney and will still go to McDonald's and they don't realize that it's all part of the same system, right? Or part of a larger system to keep people under control. They don't care. Or they choose to believe this part of it, and then they'll say, but they don't want to take that next step or go further down the rabbit hole. They're just like, well, I feel comfortable here. That's good. It's the same thing with, people that idolized Hitler or something like that. It's like, oh, I don't want to go further down that rabbit hole. Nope. Hitler was going to be a freedom fighter for white folks, so don't care. This is where I stand. And they don't want to go further down. And I understand, it's a deep rabbit hole. Whatever you do. But, yeah. I think that's just where people stand. When you get into these businesses, I think that, especially in this day and age, that you don't understand if you claim ignorance, when there's so much information out there, I don't know what to tell you, you willingly chose to do it. It's a different thing maybe in the 1940s or 50s, but today, I don't know. Maybe there's some benefit of the doubt, or maybe there's some sort of, leniency people have. But it is what it is. So, anywho, that was a long rant just to basically say, John Cena is part of a larger system. That's all I need to say, really. Hopefully y'all enjoy that. See you later, and a goodbye.